The bad news is that hooligans raid Old Trafford, and the good news is that Liverpool don't drop any points this week. Hello and welcome to the All Balls channel. I have with me today Carl Lewis, different
What's up?
background,
What's up?
changed man. Your team with a changed result. How's it going?
All good, man. It's been a decent weekend. Nice little fun-packed week of football, although we did miss the big one, which we will get to at some point. But yeah, been a good week of football. Not gonna lie.
So let me take you straight to St. Mary's, where beloved Leicester, like I said, will drop points.
Yeah,
1-1 at St.
it's
Mary's. Southampton, I feel, were the better team because they got a point with 10 men. Let's just face it. That red card, I'm not too sure about it. But considering the other tackles we had along that same weekend, but good
mm,
result for Southampton and shit result for Leicester.
absolutely. I think for Leicester, we had spoken about it in the pre-game also as well. That Leicester were the favorites in this game. Like we all thought that Leicester would pull it off, especially against a 10-man Southampton. But credit to Southampton's resolve. Like they lost a big player like Westergaard earlier on, and they had to fight off as much as they could. But I worry also for a team like Southampton because they dropped the most amount of points from winning positions in the Premier League this season. That's 23 games. It's kind of like you going to a bar, hitting on this beautiful girl, like you've done all the work, and then in swoops in some random Romeo and then takes a back. That's how Southampton probably feels at this point. So I think Southampton is now just going to wither away towards mid-table mediocrity, which they already are. But it's a huge kick in the head to Leicester because Leicester were coming into this game with a lot of confidence. You would think people like Ahia Nacho, the form that he's in, even though he scored and stuff like that, you would expect a lot more from them. And that too against a 10-man Southampton. So I guess yeah, it's a get out of jail card for Southampton.
But I just feel Southampton probably will be the happier between the two teams because the last time they got a red card, they ended up conceding 9 goals.
True.
That early in the game. This time they get a red card, they get a point against the number three team in the league. Elenacho again involved in the goals. Johnny Evans finally getting a goal after, injury and stuff like that. So bad result for
Oh
Leicester,
yeah.
though I still feel, that Chelsea is on their butts, but they're not so close. So Leicester is guaranteed for Europe. But great point for Southampton, to join Arsenal in the mid-table mediocrity.
And correction, sorry, it was Ahia Nacho who assisted Johnny Evans' goal, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. But yeah, we'll take back digs on Arsenal later. Don't worry. In our next fixture at Sellers Park, we predicted it. Man City again, winners 2-0 against Crystal Palace. Again, the man, the myth, the legend that is Sergio Aguero amongst the goals. Is he going to be missed in
Yeah,
Man City round?
100%. If it was up to me, I would get him to Man United even now. Like,
Mm,
look at what Cavani is doing. You can just imagine what a Sergio Aguero can do and will do. He's not done for sure. If you saw that goal, that was an absolute peach. It was,
yeah,
it was a Sergio Aguero special. And
yeah,
to see him score is, even for a United fan, it's just happiness.
true.
He's
I mean,
finally scored at Sellers Park, and it's Crystal Palace not a pain in the ass for Man City anymore. Titles won,
yeah.
their good position in the Champions League, and to top the week off, Sergio Aguero gets a goal. So it's a win-win week for Man City.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took 22 seconds between goals. That's how clinical I think Man City were in
It's
that game. And
City.
and and yeah, talking about Man City's depth, like I looked at a meme earlier. Someone posted something on social media, and where they were literally saying they rested a bunch of players who were worth 220 million combined to put on a defense line which was worth 160 million. Like that's
Because
just
one
eye-watering.
defender is so expensive.
Yeah, with the depth that they have still though, like it makes you just scratch your head and wonder like how is this kind of fair? But again, it's Manchester's millions and they just keep marching on. So kudos to them. I just really wish Crystal Palace gave a fight to them, but it didn't look like it was happening that way.
And to top that defensive stat, they topped it with an attacking stat where they played their second striker who has 182 goals and 46 assists in 273
Yeah.
Premier League games. That is second striker. That's not even first team. So yes,
Yeah.
I want this second striker at Man United if it's possible, but it's not going to happen. So I am going to make a sad face.
Sad faces all around. We will miss you, Aguero, but keep bringing the goals in the meantime while you're still here.
Surprise, surprise. Victory for Brighton versus Leeds at the Amex. What was that?
Complete surprise. I mean, Danny Welbeck channeled his inner R9 Ronaldo for some weird reason, and everything just worked out in favor for everyone. I mean, props to Brighton, which completely secures their safety now in the Premier League. Another year of Premier League football, which is good for them and for Graham Potter's side. So yeah, I just was expecting. I thought he's reaching a little bit more clinical. I thought like with Bamford and the form Stuart Dallas is in, and
Yeah,
I just didn't expect this.
they've won 8 of their last 9 games versus Leeds, but the form Leeds is in, the way Dallas, Harrison, Bamford, like you mentioned, I think they
Mm,
missed a Rafinha in terms of creativity somewhere. That little flair in the middle to take down a Brighton defense, which I have harped on again and again and again this season, that
yeah,
Brighton have not been hammered and they play some beautiful football.
yeah,
They
on
pass
their
it
day.
out from the back, they keep the ball, they do not panic. They're just lovely to watch, even though, people call them a small team. They're not in the top half of the table. They're battling, not battling relegation, but they were in the zone a couple of weeks ago for some time, but they play some, genuinely beautiful football. The way they played out from the back, Man United being second cannot do that. Like when
True.
United play out from the back, they give the ball away. Brighton do not panic. They keep the ball. Bissouma is available all the time. Pascal Gross is available. White Dunk have been absolutely fabulous this season. And so has
Yeah,
Dan Burn. Like they have a giant playing at wing back, which is
yeah,
insane, and he's doing well even against the fastest attackers and stuff like that. So I think Brighton deserved this, though Leeds were the
yeah.
favorites and they were scoring the goals. Leeds going 2 games without scoring a goal is something unusual, but I'm sure Bielsa in his non-English language will take them to the cleaners in the dressing room.
I'm sure he will. Who knows? He might have to spy on the next team they're playing on. Our next fixture, which is a London derby, Chelsea hosting Fulham. Pretty straightforward 2-0 victory to Chelsea.
I feel bad for Fulham. They had a good run in the middle, but they're fading out again and probably done. I think more
Mm.
likely than probably that they're done. Chelsea, business as usual, I guess. Clean sheet, 2 goals, not more. Both from Kai Havertz, who refuses to score outside London. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not going outside and scoring. You bring me here, I will score.
yeah,
And again, we've mentioned it time and time again. Mason Mount is their man.
yeah.
He's third on the list after Bruno and De Bruyne in the amount of chances created. Oh, surprise, surprise again that Werner is the first player in Chelsea to register double figures in goals and assists in his debut season. But then again, is it worth it? A
I
28, 30 goal striker is getting you 11 goals with 7 games to go and 10 assists. And he probably has more misses than he has goals this season. I
absolutely.
mean, misses, I mean, the children misses, which a 6-year-old or an
Yeah.
8-year-old would have scored. And
Sitters.
I don't even,
Sitters. Yeah.
yeah, I don't even feel ashamed of people taking a bash at me for saying that because it's true. You sent a meme of the
Absolutely. I
keeper on
agree
a
with you.
post clicking a picture. I mean, when Werner's scoring, that's absolute crap. How can you miss those? So, yeah,
Yeah.
Mason Mount again, standout player. But the worry for Chelsea yet again is that they cannot score more than two. How long will
Mm.
this go on? Tuchel, great job in defense, 11 clean sheets in his first 15 games. Uh, it's great. But where are the goals? Where are they coming from? He's I think the two positives he has of his season is that he's got Rudiger back. He was out of favor with Lampard, and Rudiger, apart keeping his antiques apart of acting, of being, after being such a giant guy, if he gets touched, he goes down. But apart from that,
Mm.
he's a brilliant defender. He carries the ball, and the other ones can't take. So apart from
Yeah.
these two, and these are both defensive, there's nothing in attack you can talk about. Havertz, yes, we all knew he would start scoring, but little late in the season, his first season, he had the virus. He's recovering. But Werner, no excuse. Tammy, Giroud, not playing them, no excuse. And the others. Every time it's Mason Mount, Mason Mount, Mason Mount. So there's not much really in Chelsea's game apart from Mount and the defensive side. Great save by Mendy. Give him that much. We should mention that after that save. But I just feel there is something more that this Chelsea side needs in terms of goals. You cannot survive a season by only scoring one or two goals every game and not being able to score more.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think again, I will play a little bit of devil's advocate and say that yes, okay, yeah, Chelsea needs to score more goals, but Tuchel's done a great job in shaping up the defense. He's done a fantastic job, and as you said, he's resurrected people like Rudiger and Kante and given them a position which they can thrive on. When it comes to their forwards, yes, to their attacking prowess, you take Mason Mount out of the equation, then they're really going to struggle. Like, I'm all happy if teams win 2-0 or 1-0 or something like, but with the quality of attack that they have, you would be expecting a lot more. So maybe in the preseason, on the off season and preseason, they'll probably be able to figure that out because I'm sure they'll probably address it when it comes to that. Because yeah, Mason Mount is right now the center. He's like the apex of that diamond over there when it comes to attacking quality and stuff. So let's see. I mean, kudos to Chelsea. Great job by them. Fulham, I still think there's an inkling of a chance. I still think they're gonna go down fighting if they're gonna go down, but we should see.
I think Fulham's done, and I wish Chelsea all the best to finish fifth.
Our next fixture takes us to Goodison Park and another speed bump for Carlo Ancelotti's man Raul. Another loss to Aston Villa, shock loss to Aston Villa, but credit to Aston Villa, but sad for Everton.
He was right. Ancelotti said this, I'm not sure during which game, but it was a 1-all draw very recently, where he said that we're a team that think that we want to get into Europe, but we're not playing like we do. We don't want
Hmm.
it enough, that was the case. Going forward, their wingbacks were excellent, but defensively, I think Traore and El Ghazi and Watkins, for that matter, were running circles around them. McGinn
Hmm.
and Barkley were just untouchable, and Mings was Mings. Apart from, I won't call it an own goal, though it wasn't given as an own goal, but he tried his best to get, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's header off the
Hmm.
line. He couldn't, but Aston Villa just refused to die down, whether there's Grealish or there's no Grealish. We spoke about his importance in this team and how they're dying down, and they just come back and prove everybody wrong that, listen, we're not a one-man team. We're not a Crystal Palace, and he's not Zaha. So,
Hmm.
absolute belter. Like, that was a goal from the top draw. It was
Hmm.
it was sublime the way he just took it and put it in. But the confidence to just go ahead and take the game to Everton, who is better than them on paper, who is doing better this season, higher than them on the table, and just had a better manager. With no disrespect to the Aston Villa manager, but Ancelotti has been there, done that for several years. And to take the game to an opponent like this, headed by a manager like this, is absolutely brilliant. Kudos to Villa, because Everton have quality, which they didn't show on the day.
Yeah.
And Aston Villa, with the team they have, took the game to them. And I think it's safe to say that they ripped them apart in the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, shout out to Anwar Al Ghazi, who scored basically what he scored 8 Premier League goals in 23 games this season, twice as many as he scored in his last 34 appearances. I like this thing that where they're sharing the responsibility. Like we all thought Everton would get this game easily, considering that they're trying to fight for Europe. But to know that a guy like Anwar Al Ghazi, Merton Traore, and everyone else putting in a shit, like as you mentioned, I like that they take the responsibility and they say, okay, fine, we don't have our talisman with us. let's try doing things our way, the best way possible, and just put our best foot forward. On the other side for Everton, yeah, I really like that point as you said. Like we want to play for Europe, but I just want to play for it. Or as you mentioned earlier, like it's sad
Yeah,
because you see a guy who has a legacy of, or who has basically a pedigree of like Carlo Ancelotti. If you just look at his resume, it's insane. It's one of the best resumes you'll ever see in football manager history. And it's kind of sad that you have good quality players like Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has scored his 20th goal in all competitions this season, and the highest that too with like in the Premier League with 7 headed goals. Like he likes it in the air. That's the best way to put it possible.
that
So at
sounds
least
very wrong,
he's
but
got
okay.
the. But he's again like it's great to have him scoring, but you need to see a team like Everton shutting off games. Like we were just talking about Chelsea and how they go okay fine 2-0 and they need to score more goals. But Everton has not even come to a point where they need to just win by 1-0 and be more resolute. So it's again an uphill task. I still hold a candle for Everton and hope that they can make some form of European football. But I
They're
guess we'll
not.
have to see.
They're not making top four. I have given my verdict.
Top four, but European places are there. But kudos to Aston Villa though.
Shock result at St James's Park where Arsenal come out with 3 points. How have you done it? How
Shock
have you
and
beaten a team that is battling relegation? How?
uh, You know what? It is what it is. We just tend to pull these things off. We went from 10th position to a staggering ninth. Actually, now after that win, which was fantastic. But yeah, I'm happy with the win. I'm really, really happy with the win. Aubameyang
Party at the
got
Emirates.
on the score sheet. The Pyramid Pirlo, as we like to call it, Mr. Mohamed El Nene, getting his first Premier League goal as well. So great game. I mean, I don't know in where Newcastle could have done better. It just looked like Arsenal looked a lot more hungrier. So good credit. And Martinelli, we've been discussing Gabriel Martinelli. And I'm happy that he got that assist at least because he seems to be someone who can be a driving force up front, especially not only as a substitute option, but as a starter. Like you can see people like Lacazette and Aubameyang, they tend to slack off a little bit, but you can just see Martinelli just pushing and pushing. Like even in injury time, he pushes himself. So it's a good game. I mean, it's a good win for the Gunners, and it definitely does put us in a much more confident mood coming into the midweek game, which is going to be the Europa League game. But yeah, I know, man. It's Arsenal. Like nothing surprises me now. Like I told you, I've already written the season off. So whatever happens here, almost till the end of the season, I really couldn't be more. I mean, I'm just worried about the Europa League, I guess. But that being said, that's a different discussion. So yeah.
I do not want to waste further time on ninth place.
Our next fixture, Tottenham running rampant against Sheffield United, which they are already relegated from. So Gareth Bale masterclass, should I say, and even a peach from Son himself at the end as well. Like, there's nothing stopping Gareth Bale. I think this guy just uses Tottenham Hotspur as his training ground, and he's just gonna be like, yeah, this is just like just practice for me till I get back to Madrid.
He was unstoppable. He stamped his authority. So did Fleck, but we'll get to that discussion. First hat first hat trick in 8 years, considering the fact that he was on the bench for about 5 years at Real Madrid. But yeah, not a bad result for Spurs chasing top four. Expected to beat Sheffield, though I wanted Sheffield to put up more of a fight. They're out of this season. They're relegated. They got a new manager. Hopefully, play party poopers to ex Jose Mourinho. Basically, whatever side Jose Mourinho has been involved with, except for Man United, I will hate them. I can't hate Man United because I love them, but the other sides, yes. And nothing to show for Sheffield. They had probably a half chance here and there, and the talking point
Mm.
was Flex just using Lo Celso as a doormat, and how that was not like how he was not sent off for that will be another feather in the cap of the VAR bad decisions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming to a point where, honestly, I'm so annoyed with VAR, not only as an Arsenal fan, but I think even as a neutral, I'm sure you'll also agree with me as well, Rahul. Like VAR has just not been consistent. We've had this discussion over and over again. But what I'm trying to say is that at this point, knowing what happened to Lo Celso and especially what Fleck did, which is like a blatant foul, that's a red card. Like that's he had an ice pack on his head at the end of the game. Like he literally had his head bandaged up and VAR did nothing about it. I honestly feel like if you give these guys at VAR and enema, you can fit them all in a shoebox because that's how much of shit they're filled with at this point. Because I'm really getting frustrated with it. It's really annoying to see such decisions like this not being talked about. And I think once the season's over, these guys really have to reflect and look at themselves and say, like, what do we do right? What do we do wrong? And if they have to come in the end and say, oh, yeah, I think VAR worked, they really deserve a slap in the face for that. Like, if they honestly say, if the referees association says also, oh, yeah, VAR has been perfect, it's spot on. No, it hasn't. The whole millimeter line, offside challenge, the armpit hair, and to any random things. Like, there have been players who have gotten into jail. Those are people who have also gotten out of jail, getting away with things as well, thanks to VAR. So I know I can go on and on and on about VAR, but again, we won't discuss it too much because I'm sure those who have watched the game also will know that Fleck had to be off on that game.
So here is presenting to you an Arsenal fan who had more to say in a Spurs game than an Arsenal game. Speaking of consistency, Son joins Kane and Bruno in double-digit figures for goals and assists this season. Would you like to say some more about your stepwife?
No, I mean, again, I spoke about more of the incident, but when it comes to Spurs, sorry, yeah, well-deserved victory. Son again scoring as usual, and he always scores worldies half the time. So kudos to him, and great job by Gareth Bale. I hope Ryan Mason at the end of this, even though he's an interim manager, he's just going to be here till the end of the season. At least I hope he lets them finish on a high. They were unfortunate in the Carabao Cup, but maybe for the rest of the season, for the rest of the games, they can try and finish up as high possible.
Burnley dropped from a height at home. West Ham back at it. Mr. Lewis, they're taking your position in 4. They're going for 4.
Well,
great
I'm
win,
happy.
man. Antonio's back.
I'm happy that West Ham won. Antonio's behind the goals. Okay, Jalen's didn't channel his inner Ronaldinho, but he was still influential. And yeah, it was a good game. Credit to West Ham. It was a really good game. I think it was actually one of the most exciting games of this game week. I would say, like, it was back and forth. It was a pretty interesting match. I mean, West Ham is in really good company also this season. They've scored 2 goals in 11 Premier League games in 2021. A figure only Manchester City can better. So I guess, high flying goals, David Moyes getting his players clicking. That's all right. I mean, not to take anything away from Chris Wood, who scored sorry about that, but he scored more Premier League goals against West Ham than anyone else. So I guess it was a shoo-in for him to score in any case. But West Ham turning winners, man. And Mikel Antonio, the decision maker, I mean, the decider over there, he just seemed to be like a bull in a china shop. Like he was just marauding through those defenders.
And I think Moyes' interview at the end said it all, where he was asked, and he said that I'm definitely going for it. We're going to attack these last 5 games, and we're going for it. And why not? They've not found themselves in this position for the longest time. And why not? You played such a good season. You have the players to get it. You're only trailing Chelsea by 3 points. The way Leicester's going, dropping points here and there, probably you never know. They might slip up. They have a habit of. Not bad for West Ham. Also, considering the fact that they're the only team to score and concede in 20 games this season, which only goes to tell you that they have found a way to score 1 more goal than their opponent and get the points in most cases, since they're so high up on the table. So while I agree United did not give Moyes enough time, but I think he needs to be at a club. He cannot be at such a big club. The West Hams, the Burnleys, the Brightons, the Evertons are good for him. And he's doing a fab job. Credit where it's due. He's got them to 5th with a great chance of finishing in the Champions League spots. And I'm backing them to do it because somewhere I feel with Champions League pressure, Chelsea might just slip up in the Premier League.
Yeah, I guess we have to wait and see. But again, I'm completely honest. I completely agree with you as well with West Ham running winners. And of course, also a shout out to Vladimir Supal for providing a 6th Premier League assist for the season. Amongst him, it's only Aaron Creswell and Lucas Digne who have registered more assists. So again, they are not only getting creativeness from the midfield, but they're also getting from the defense. And Vladimir Supal is someone who's been very, very important to them as well. So shout out to him. Well done for getting an assist again in this game. And finally, Wolves playing West Brom. It was honors even, 1-1. And the biggest game of the weekend, though, was unfortunately not played. It was Man United versus Liverpool. And thanks to some rather unruly Manchester United fans, well, I know because of the ESL and how things have happened, it's sad. But I guess the game is to be played soon. And knowing how difficult the crunch fixtures are going to be, we don't know when. But that's a different discussion for the next time. But it's been a good game week so far, Rahul.
Yes. Also, guys, let us know in the comments what you feel about the Man United fans running riot on their own home ground. Also, while you're at it, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and stay safe.
Peace.